Hello again, dear listeners. I'm barely functioning, but that's what I get for booking a flight that starts and ends before the sun rises. Bo's place is roughly 5 miles away. I'm really scared, to be honest. My gift-wrapped wine has probably turned sour. Hope he likes scones. I'll be recording every conversation I have with his consent. Gotta ease into the interviewing process slowly. Bo's a card, so there should be no shortage of interesting babble with him. Our week-long potentially fatal vacation starts now. I hope you're ready, because I'm not. Alright, we're here. I'm feeling those middle school first date butterflies, and not the good kind. The house is adorable. We've got a family of gardeners on our hands. There's 2 rocking chairs on the front porch that I'd pay money to sip lemonade in.
Hello? Got some?
Hello, my name is Wendy.
Wendy! Hello, why didn't you say so? Come on in, Wendy. We got a meal ready for you in the kitchen. I made chicken pot pie. Now I know that sounds duller than pro golf, but trust me, it's to die for.
Wow, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Let me get your jacket for you. Say, what's that gizmo you got in your hand?
It's my recording device. Is that alright?
Well, you could at least allow me to introduce myself.
Of course, have at it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bo Bishop, subject of this here thing that Wendy is doing. Now, what's it called? A specialty segment?
Investigative report, but that works too.
Oh, ain't that something? I feel like a movie star. Got me all peachy.
You are kind of the star of it all.
Shoot, little old Bo, movie star. I'll have to call my mama. Now come, sit. I'll bring the darlings in so you can meet the family.
Remember that thing I said about Bo being a character?
Harmony, Camille, DEDE, come on down. We got ourselves company.
I'll stop things here for the time being. While Bo consented to me documenting anything he says, things are different legally with his wife and children. Don't worry, we'll hear from them, just on their terms.
We were struggling, big time. I've been working construction for a government contractor when it hit. Been doing it for 10 years. Took them all but 10 minutes to fire me.
I'm so sorry.
It was awful seeing him out of a job. Bo's always been a hard-working man. Can't keep his hands off his tools.
What did you do with your newfound free time?
Well, there wasn't much else to do besides survive at that point. Luckily, we were dirt poor already, so we knew how to ration every nickel.
Yeah, Bo had the idea of storing food and water in the storage downstairs. I mean, it really came in handy.
So much soup.
Gross soup, like chunky soup.
Hey now, some soups are supposed to be chunky.
Not tomato soup, Dad. That's supposed to be smooth.
So it wasn't a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Point is, we had enough to last.
Did any of you see any of the infected before they were cured?
Cured? That's mighty generous of you.
Now hold on, DEDE. I know what Wendy's trying to get out here. And no, we were lucky to avoid any contact.
I'm so sorry if I said something out of line.
No, DEDE's just a little sensitive about the subject.
I just think it's wrong to call them cured. That's all.
And we've had several disagreements about that.
Very loud disagreements.
So loud.
Well, now, you got your headphones, don't you?
Still too loud.
Bo and I are equally stubborn. I think it toughens us up.
That's a great way to look at it.
We work well, her and I. Been married 17 years.
18, Bo.
Shit.
What was life like during the height of the pandemic for your family?
Whew, that's a question if I've ever heard one. Lots of quiet time in the house. We turned off everything. Lights, heating, running water, anything that could make us known. Then we huddled downstairs in the basement with our soup and, well, water and just waited it out.
Forgive me, but that sounds incredibly boring.
It was. I mean, we kept ourselves entertained for about a week, but there's only so many times you can play poker as a family.
And the smell. Ugh.
Camille could put skunks in a cardiac arrest.
Hey!
Heh, I bet the tensions got real high.
You better believe it. We had each other get our own corner of the basement, just not to strangle one another. But that's what's family all about, ain't it?
Tell her about the government, Bo.
I'm getting there. Can't rush out, honey.
Well, that's a great segue into why I'm here. How did you become janitor?
I'll tell you once you finish your pot pie. You haven't even taken a bite.
Whoops, must have gotten caught up in the story.
That's a sign of dedication right there. I must be interesting.
Oh, she's here for me, Dal. Didn't she tell you?
I bet she'd love to hear all about your tomatoes, sweetie.
I bet she would. Do you want to hear about my tomatoes, Wendy?
If we had time in the episode, I definitely would.
Mom, please don't make her do that.
How about I hear about the tomatoes while I finish the pot pie? Then we can get back to the janitor business?
Sounds like a deal to me.
So, I started growing the little gems in Tupperware I found down in the basement.
Well, I'm sure you're all dying to hear about the tomatoes. I felt it necessary to omit any excess information, as this deep dive will be jam-packed as it is. Sorry, DEDE. We sat for hours at the table, mostly because I could hardly stomach the pot pie, which somehow sweet, bitter, tender, tough, and somehow also burnt all at once. DEDE, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I had to say it.
Thanks for getting the dishes, Cammy.
Of course, Dad. No problem.
Thanks for dinner. I loved it.
Oh, same here, sweetie. You knocked it out of the park.
You all are just too much sometimes. Thank you. Did you enjoy it, Wendy?
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Get some good sleep now, you hear? I'll need you both bright-eyed and butcher-tailed for chores tomorrow.
I'm gonna head up too, baby.
Alrighty then. I'll stick with Wendy for a bit and I'll be up.
Don't keep him too late now. Lord knows this man could talk until the sun comes up if you give him the chance.
I'll try my best.
Alright. Bye-bye now.
You drink?
I shouldn't, but yes, avidly.
That's the spirit.
Thank you.
Now, let's get into things. What exactly do you want to know, Wendy?
I feel like a kid in a candy store.
That's a good one. Am I really that excited?
Indefinitely.
You sure know how to flatter.
I get that a lot. Before we start with the janitor business, could you tell me more about yourself? What was life like for you growing up?
Hard. Let me tell you, I grew up with nothing but a thick gut and a sense of humor.
Where, if I may ask?
Right here in Novi, actually. Just a couple miles down the road.
Wow, have you ever been out of the state?
Once, I visited Cleveland for a spell after I got my promotion at work.
How was that?
Underwhelming. Got to watch the Browns lose at least.
I'm sure that was fun. So you're born and raised Michigander?
Is that what they're calling us now? Damn right I am. I love this place. It's beautiful out here. Nobody bothers you.
Are you not a people person?
Not at all.
Wow, you come off like a true extrovert.
Yeah, I get that. But people are just so loud all the time. Most won't ever let me get a word in. Safe for my family, you know?
Happy to be a part of the inner circle.
You sure are special. I could have lived anywhere else with the janitor pay grade, but I decided I didn't want anybody fussing about my business.
I hope my interviews won't be too much fussing.
No, you fine. I agreed to do this. I like the attention. It's the Bosch show.
24/7, 365, at least for this week. Got any childhood stories you want to share with the audience?
There was a time when I wrangled a bear cub out in the woods behind my house.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just pulling your chain. Bears ain't coming around these parts.
I was so ready to switch up the topic of this documentary.
Wouldn't that be something? Bo Bishop, bear wrangler.
It really would be.
Alright, I owe you something other than nonsense for finishing my work at dinner today. Lay it on me. What's the big secret you want out?
I suppose we can start with how you got the job as a janitor.
Well, as I said before, I've been working government oversaw construction for about 10 years before they fired me. My manager, Sandier Morrison, was the one who brought the hammer down on me. He let me off easy, said it wasn't my fault and all that, budget cuts and such.
Were you and him close?
I mean, as close as a manager and an employee could be, I suppose. We went out for drinks once or twice. He said he liked my hustle on the job. He was actually the one who pointed me in the janitor direction once the position was created.
How was he affiliated with the CDC?
Not sure. I didn't ask too many questions. All I knew was that I was broke and had a family to feed, and the man was offering me a 6-figure job.
He must have had some serious connections then. The CDC doesn't mess around.
I felt mighty lucky to have been helped by him. I told him I'd take up the job, whatever it took. He handed me some papers to sign. I couldn't afford a lawyer, so I toiled over the margins myself. To the best of my knowledge, everything seemed front and center. No shady business.
That's surprising.
Right? I felt like I stumbled on a pot of gold. Took 3 sentences for me to be shaking hands with some men in suits at my door.
Were they from the CDC?
CDC and FBI, actually. They had to make sure I could be trusted with the equipment they were bringing in. Said they would keep tabs on everything me and my family did.
That sounds incredibly invasive.
You do what you have to do. I shook every hand that came to me that day. Of course, deeds and the girls were scared half to death. Although the zeros at the end of that check really helped that a bit.
Can't say no to financial stability.
Oh, it was more than stability. The salary was nothing compared to the benefits.
Are you allowed to disclose what those are?
Some of the service level ones, yes.
Such as?
Got all my heat bills covered. Mortgage was cleared. Camille and Harmony both got free college.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. That's gotta be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Guess people weren't lining up at the door to put their lives on the line. I ain't ever seen the government more happy to give their money away.
Desperate measures for desperate times.
Exactly right. Once the paperwork was in order, the pencil pushers shuffled out, and a massive truck and the size of my house backed into my driveway.
What for?
To drop off my janitorial equipment. They had the whole get-up ready to go that afternoon.
They had you start the same day?
Damn right. Couldn't wait around for more people to get infected. So they put me through a couple courses with CDC instructors and shipped me off to Detroit.
What did the instructors teach you?
Just the bare essentials. How to properly lock the suit, prevent any outside airflow, how to monitor oxygen levels, prepare distance procedures, and of course, how to operate the Spitfire.
Spitfire, is that the...
Flamethrower? Although we are legally supposed to refer to them as combustion generators, makes them sound a little less grisly.
And you call yours the Spitfire? Creative.
You get attached to the things that can save your life. Gotta give them a name eventually.
That's very wise, though I can't say I completely understand what you mean.
Now don't you give my drunken ramblings too much credit. Come on, I'll show you her. She's in the shed.
Of course, right away. Now, was it responsible of me to walk around with a drunk man wielding a flamethrower? Sorry, combustion generator? Absolutely not. But when in Novi?
Pardon the smell. We got a rat problem around here. Poor sons of bitches get trapped and rot for a while.
It's alright. I smelled worse.
Right. This here is Spitfire. About 100 pounds of government-authorized destruction power.
I love the decal on the side.
Yeah, I had to try and make it look nice. If I die, I want to at least look good doing it.
Another good mantra to live by. How does it work?
You've asked one of my favorite questions, Wendy. See here, the tank pumps gas into the barrel. I push the gas using the controlled air burst with this trigger. Now, that air I just pushed out is highly flammable. So all I have to do is light this end of my barrel with this trigger.
I thought you were gonna roast me alive.
Oh no, I would never. See, the genius behind the design is that a flame would only be shot out if both triggers were pulled at the same time, and they're put on opposite sides of the barrel.
Safety first. Glad they found it so important.
I got my safety suit hanging somewhere. It probably needs a wash.
Is it under the trap door?
No, we just have that for bikes and extra storage.
And possibly cumin?
Huh? Oh, the spices. Yeah, that spice rack was a gift from DEDE for a wedding anniversary. Didn't know where else to put it but here.
Not enough space in the kitchen?
No, ma'am. Had to make room for all the phone charges, Alexias, and whatever other doodads my precious daughters bring back.
Makes sense. Can I see the suit?
Of course you can. Got one of your own too.
Thank goodness. I was worried about going out in the field.
You really think old Bo will let you get out there unprotected?
Not for a second.
Good. You'll have to listen to everything I say out there, you hear? My word is gospel.
Of course.
Here, put this sucker on.
I'll get right on it. Sorry, dear listeners. Didn't want to put my embarrassing grunts and frustrated cussing out into the air. Let the record show that the suit adds 10 pounds. I could barely breathe, but I definitely felt protected. The suit has dozens of interlocking pipes and metal connectors that make things airtight. You have to suck air through a pack mounted on both arms. You also have to be really careful with the gas you expunge from combustion generator, as it can make its way into your oxygen tank connector tubes. So just hold your breath when you're torching things. Sound good? Anyway, that should be enough catch up. Let's see how Bo prepares me for tomorrow's
I'll
events.
need you 10 feet behind me at all times. We'll be moving through the center of Detroit, so we'll have shelters basically everywhere. Don't get too spooked if they get close. You're more likely to use up all your oxygen. Then you'll be getting infected, possibly.
So don't panic, and things will be fine. Got it.
Right, exactly. That's the one thing I had to learn the hard way. First day on the job, I was trembling in my boots, looking down the barrel of Rosa Parks Boulevard. About 10 settlers at my 12, 6, 3, and 9 used up most of my first tank of oxygen before lighting a single Christmas tree. I had to call emergency evac while gasping for my final breath. They had to wheel me kicking and screaming back home.
Sounds like an awful first day. What made you come back?
I saw my daughters looking down their third bowl of soup that day. I couldn't bear the thought of them not being spoiled. I wanted to save them.
I know this isn't my place to say, but I bet they loved you regardless.
You're awfully kind. It just didn't sit right with me to watch them have nothing when I can do something about it. So I took an ice bath and clocked in at 6 a.m. sharp the next day.
Did the second time go any better?
Yes, ma'am. I cleared the streets with gritted teeth and a conviction.
Did this job take any mental toll on you?
Absolutely. I've had nightmares since it started. Couldn't sleep for weeks until I started chugging whiskey before bed.
That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
The worst part was watching my daughters see me go through it all. DEDE had been with me in my alcoholic days. I had kept sober all their lives. Some days they acted like they didn't know me.
I'm sure that must have been extremely difficult.
I knew they'd come around eventually. I never hit them or shouted or anything like that.
It seems like they have.
Yes, we're growing closer together now. It's nice.
I'm sure that means the world to you as a father.
It really does. I do everything for them. And DEDE, of course.
You're a noble man.
Don't get it twisted, Wendy. I still work for the government.
Well, this has been pleasant, but I assume we both need to get some rest.
Indeed we should. I've made a bed for you in the living area. It's a pull-out. Hope you don't mind.
Not at all. Thank you.
Alrighty then. Work starts at 6 a.m. sharp, and it's about an hour drive, so...
Get up before it should be legal to do so? Got it.
Damn right. Good night.
Hello, my dear listeners. I'm currently tucked into a surprisingly comfy couch. I didn't realize how exhausted I was until my head hit the pillow. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Bo has been even more fascinating than I initially imagined, and that's saying something. I'm leaving you on another cliffhanger, by the way. Bo and I will be entering the shuffler-ridden streets of inner-city Detroit at the crack of dawn tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll get some really exciting content out of that. But it also means you'll have to wait until the next episode. Also, I found something interesting while doing my usual digging. Or I guess it's more of what I didn't find. Xander Morrison. Absolutely no trace of anyone with that name in all of Novi, Michigan. Being as he was a manager for the government construction agency, I'd assume there would be a plethora of paperwork in his name. However, I've been excavating for hours and nothing has turned up. Food for thought, I suppose. Good night, everyone. I'll be seeing you soon.